All right, party people, welcome to another episode of 40 Years of Hip Hop, where me, your host with the most, Mr. Ron, and my man, the G-Man, we basically review 1,000 songs from 1979 to 2019, and that sucker free. My man, what you got for us today?
Yes, the Incredible G in the house, and today we will be reviewing Do This My Way by Kid and Play.
Yeah, that's
this
right.
This is
right.
a joint from 1988 from the first album, Too Hype. And This will be a nostalgic one for me, you know?
For all of us, I think. For all of us. So before we dive into this review, this month we are giving away a limited edition Funko Pop Notorious B.I.G. figurine. All you have to do is subscribe to have a chance to win. Also, check out our premium apparel store. We have original t-shirts and more are coming on the way. You like cool artwork? Then check out 40 Years of Hip Hop Display metallic posters. And our first official collaboration with 1804 The Movement, and that's why we're rocking these fresh caps and beanies. You can find all these links in the description below. Okay, enough said, back to you, my man.
So now, as for Originality, Kid and Play. Two kids that are playing, you know? That's how you can see it when you look at it that way, but they had fun. It was in an era we needed that kind of hype. You know,
of course,
it was super cool. They were super cool for pulling out these dance moves, do the Kid and Play step. You know, it was definitely original with that track. And
Indeed.
It was kind of a softer kind of rap, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it was an era when rap was changing, was getting, you know, real hardcore. You had the you know, New York style was, the diggity rhyme was finished, you know, was over. And they came out with a new feeling, like the Heavy D, Salt and Pepper. It was dancing rap, you know. It was really interesting. And because most of the songs were pretty light and funny and enjoyable. And they made a statement with this one because me, since I'm a hip-hop purist, you know, I like my harder kind of rap, you know, so not gangster, but harder. And this was their hardest track to me. Do This My Way. They stated something. We're doing this our own way, but we're still rocking and we're still representing, you know.
And they did it with their own way.
And that stuck to me. And for that, as far as originality, you know, I give it a 4.
Oh, okay. Fair enough, my man. Fair enough, my mellow. So, as for me, let me tell you how I got to know Kid and Play. You see, back in the day, the way that we did it, one homie would get a tape, he'd make a copy for the whole crew, you know? And the same way, you get a new album, you get a new tape, you get a new CD, where you gotta spend the whole night at home with that double tape deck and making copies for the crew. And this is how I got my first copy of Too Hype. And as soon as Do This My Way came on, I was just blown away by the energy of that song. Bars none. So, is this song original? If so, how? Well, one more thing. See, the 80s was a different era. Okay, again, now we are talking about the late 80s. There was a certain naivety and a certain vulnerability to 80s music. And I'm not just talking about hip hop. I'm just talking about in music in general. And yeah, and Kid and Play, like they said, Do This My Way, they were themselves, you know. And now still, hip hop is a very manly business. You know, if you're a dude in hip hop, you know, it's all about like flexing. But they did not choose to go that way. You know, they chose to be positive, fun, and that song, definitely a B-boy classic. Okay, so for this reason, I gave Originality a 3.5.
Okay, fair indeed.
Yes,
So
yes.
now,
And
for delivery and lyrics and flow.
oh boy.
Kid and Play. Kid and
Yee.
Play. Kid and Play were not known for their lyrical prowess. It wasn't Arabian Rakim. It wasn't, it wasn't that type of lyrically flow. It was simple rhyme and with a great flow, nothing complicated. And it was for the ladies and fellows that were into the purest form of rap. We could have said they were the first commercial after the Sugar Hill Gang song. Rap went a little bit on the underground, and it wasn't for the masses. And when Kid and Play came in, the EVDs, the Salt and Pepper, that's where I remember in high school, I was in a school that was mostly Greek. We had Greek students.
Yeah, of course. We went to the same high school. High school.
I was like, we were considered a minority if you were not Greek, whatever color you were, And these girls, they used to listen to rock and roll, the heavy metal, the
Bon Jovi,
Scorpion,
Motley Crue.
And we got acquainted with that because we wanted to get some girls, to get the ladies, you need to love to listen to the music. LL Cool J proved that point, You need to like the music that the girls are listening. And back then, we didn't get in Canada access to real rap. So me and Mr. Ron, because we traveled to the States many times a year, that's where we brought back music for our fellas to discover hip hop. And these were the first kind of rap that was getting appeal to the ladies that didn't listen to rap at all, and they were like, oh, this is cool. And they used to see us do the dance move, we used to show off and everything, and that's why the lyrics were not that complicated. And as a duo, they knew how to perfectly exchange rhymes with each other. That's was amazing, because it was before like EPMD, a little bit. Five Dog and Q-Tip, the way they had an interaction, Kid and Play had it before them, And as a hip hop quotable for that, I got to get next to the opposite sex. It means if you're not down, use the exit. Just like Buddhist, we always do this on the stretch, y'all. We can do this my way. And courtesy of genius.com for the lyrics, thank you. And for that, I went with a 3 for the lyrics. Because these were the strongest lyrical song. That's why I give it a 3.
All right, my man. That's cool. So, you've actually covered a lot of what I was going to say. Again, Kid and Play, they were not known as the greatest lyricist, okay? And also, you don't really listen to Kid and Play for lyrics, it's more of an overall feeling, like a good after school TV special, but one thing that they really had was the energy. And again, that's the first thing that really struck to me with Kid and Play. It's that energy. And also, my man, the G, also mentioned the way that Kid and Play went back and forth. It was really, really, really something. And for that reason, my man, we're twinsies! I give it a 3 on 5 as well.
Oh, that's great. So now we're gonna get to the production and beat. Oh, 2 ultimate samples on that beat. And,
indeed.
On that beat.
Huge samples.
2 huge samples that made the beat. And production-wise, the Kid and Play type of music was cool, but it wasn't my kind of sound. It was too simple, too melodic. It was to be considered real production for me, It was compared to the house music of the era, and a lot of this kind of rap that I consider it comfort food for rap. For music, like you want to get comfort food, like your mac and cheese or your chicken and grits or your ice cream. But this was the kind of music, the comfort music, when you want to lay back, chill. That was the kind of rap for me. And one of the samples, it's the drums. The most influential record in hip hop to be sampled was Tank by Lynn Collins in 1972.
That's right. You better think.
Yes, famously known because of Rob Bass and Easy Rock on It Takes Two. that's another story. They're the one that used the sample best, but they used the drums on that sample. And then the backbone of the song was the Maceo and the Max 1975 sample Cross the Track.
Cross the track.
We better go back. It was a sample that was so great. The original song was already ill, but the Invincible twist, the Invincible, they twisted. The Invincibles, they were the crew, the production crew behind Kid and Play. And a complete beat, it was a type of beat to battle rap. You know, you felt Kid and Play wanting to battle. They was just showing rhymes, you know. So it was a unique song in their own way. And notes about the producer, Herbie Lovebug Azer, you know,
that's
he was
right,
the mastermind behind the clique of Salt and Pepper, Dane, Kwame, Sweetie. He was the mastermind. He was like the Diddy, the Puff Daddy of the crew, you know. And he wrote, produced, and arranged for the whole crew. And fun fact, did you know that he co-wrote and produced the hit song "Anything for You" by Snow and Nadine Sutherland? He's the one that did that. Herbie Lovebug. I found out while digging. That's how I found out. I never knew that. That was a great song. And while I mentioned the Invincibles, there's the one that made that beat. And the Invincible was composed. It was a crew of producers that included Kwame and DJ Weez, Kid and Play's DJ. And with Herbie Lovebug, they're the one that crafted all their beats, you know. Fun beats, really good beats. And for that reason, you know, I give the beat, because My Way, it was the best known Kid and Play to me. I give it a 4.5 to that beat.
Oh, 4.5. Okay, my man.
Because the beat himself, you could listen to it without the lyrics. I imagine there's two rappers battling on that beat. Do This My Way, you know. It was like the Do This My Way from Frank Sinatra of rap. That version, that was the rap version. And don't forget, courtesy of Who Sample. Courtesy of Who Sample for the notes about production. What about you, Ron? Beat.
All right, so sometimes the best way to analyze the beat, like I've said before, is just to listen to the instrumental. Okay, that drum loop, man, it was a great drum loop from the late 80s, early 90s. It was huge, so much that it was just amazing. One of the most sampled songs in hip-hop history, which I believe was sampled 96 times. So just that just shows you the impact that this song had. Of course, a Herbie Lovebug production. You know who they roll with. My man G covered that. And the energy of the song is just so amazing, like I've said before. And I'm sure a couple of aunties were doing some aerobics to that in the 80s, you know, up and down and up and down. However, myself, I thought that the beat was a little too simple, a little too repetitive. But you also need to understand the context, okay, of that song. Also, like the era. It's pre-boom bap, it's pre-gangster rap, and also, like you were saying, like my man G was saying, that bubblegum rap, that very accessible, fun, youthful rap, was slowly dying already in 1988. Okay, so so for this reason, I give it a 3.5.
Fair indeed. As for relevance, longevity. That saying, the song stood time, you know. It stood the test of time to me. But for many others, I'm not so sure.
I agree with you.
You know, it made my top 1,000 list because to me, it marked me that beat. You know, back then in '88, I was aspiring to be a rapper or producer, and that beat stuck to me so much.
Yeah.
I created my first rhyme on that beat, you know? So,
wow.
On that instrumental. So to me, that's why it had to be in the top 1,000 song. I had to put Kid and Play in it. You know, they did a lot. So that's why. to me, it's the most relevant song, you know. And if this song relevant in this modern era, I would say no. You had to live in that era to understand this kind of hip hop, you know. Kid and Play, Salt and Pepper, EVD, Kwame. It was part of a culture that included the dancing and dressing up to cool, to impress the ladies. Nothing could compare to the more rugged underground New York style, you know. It had a niche of its own. So if you didn't live, and don't forget us, we're up north.
Yeah.
We were not brought up in the ghetto, you know. So it was like in the movies House Party. They were like in the suburbs, you know. Hip hop. We didn't have gun shooting everywhere. You know, that's when I went to New York to see my cousin, or Boston, Mattapan, you know, that I saw these things, you know, understood what was it, the New York gritty rhyme. But us, we lived that, you know, at that time. So for that reason, I have to give it a 3.
All right, so is this song still relevant? Did Kid and Plays Do This My Way? Did it stand the test of time? Well, I will tell you, this is definitely a classic for our generation. Anyone from 35 to 45, they know this song, they've rocked it. It's just part of their life playlist. Okay. However, I have to say that this song did not age well. Okay. The beat, the rhymes, the rhyme patterns, they just sound really, really outdated. And any rapper would step nowadays with something like that, with that feeling, they would be labeled as corny. Okay. Also, one thing that I have to say, for the sneakerheads out there, Kid and Play are sporting a pair of Nike Windrunners, okay? And even that, they're a classic runner, and they're mostly known for that, you know, pop culture reference than any athletic prestige. But it was like a cool sneaker. I'm a sneakerhead myself, and this is like, I would say, like the pre-Air Max ones. But it was a cool sneaker. So, relevance and longevity, I give it a 4 on 5.
Oh wow, Ron beat me. Ron actually beat me with a score. Whoa. Oh, the final part, impact.
That's
Powerful
right.
impact.
Boom from the cannon!
So for impact, Kid and Play, this song redefined the dance urban hip hop scene by showing they can have lyrical street creds too, you know, because that song compared to the other songs, they were like a braggadocious rap, you know, they were flaunting, telling they're the best, you know, they get the ladies and everything. They do this my way, you know, that was a statement. They were showing to the other rappers that they were here to stay, you know, in their own way. And no one dared to contest that, you know, after that song. And the video was so amazing. They had the impact when you see it's like they had the style, they copied Robert Palmer, that was a rock music, and they had the video, they had a classic video, I don't remember the song, but the girls were dressed in black playing recording addicted to something,
addicted to love,
but they had that part, the girls, they were playing the instruments, and then they had the Salt and Pepper in the end dancing, you know, they had like two fusion, they were mixing the rock and the hip hop girls in the dancing, and I would say they mark our generation and open many doors to this young generation with the Hollywood acting and for the rappers, you know. Before Mos Def started doing movies and everyone, LL Cool J, Kid and Play broke the barriers, you know.
That's true.
Before we had movies like Tougher Than Leather, that were horrible movies, you know, but it's still a hip hop classic. But it was what they considered real movies, and with House Party they started, you know.
Indeed.
That music video only impacted the dance scene so much. It was the most famous dance step in hip hop history.
Oh yeah,
you had
for sure.
Because it was an era in hip hop. Everybody had a dance move, you know. Like Kid and Play had the most popular one, do the Kid and Play step. And you had the Smurf dance, you had the Steve
Oh,
Martin,
yeah.
the Steve Martin that was by EPMD. You
The
had
Pee Wee
Pee Wee
Herman.
dance. You had the Cabbage Patch Kid. You know, everybody had a dance move. You have the Bismarcky had his own dance. The Doggy from Doggy Fresh.
Yeah,
but this was
yeah.
the one that crossed all the barriers. Everybody knows about the Kid and Play step. Every show, everybody, still right now they're rocking the Kid and Play step. Everybody, when they see them, they have to do it. I was looking at an interview on James Champs. Shout out to Nori and DJ FNF. Nori on James Champs and Kid and Play were talking about it. Said even nowadays when they see somebody they just by default they kick them. They just kick them to do the Kid and Play. Kid and Play is like, yo, stop kicking me, you know? Everybody they have to do the Kid. Even LeBron James, when he met Kid and Play the first time, he said he wanted to do the Kid and Play steps, you know? So that's funny. And so it impacted our generation so much. So that's why I have to give it a 4.
Oh, okay. That's fair enough. So I will tell you, was this song impactful, people? Let's see. We have the Kid and Play dance move. Check. They had their own cartoon. Check. They almost had their live show, a little bit a la Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yes.
Check. Kid and Play, they still tour as part of the I Love the 90s concert circuit, okay? Kid has a second career as a stand-up comedian,
Yeah,
and he's pretty funny too. You know, while I was doing some research for that song, I was like, what? And this song, Do This My Way, and I've done the research, it's been on every old school CD compilation, tapes, playlist. That song is always, old school is always there. So, and all that, guys, all that, party people, and that song never charted, ever. So, for these reasons, for the impact, I'm sorry, my man G, but my man, I got 5 on it, and I give it a 5.
Wow.
I think it's it's the most impactful song from Kid and Play.
Yes. Okay, that's cool. Fair enough. The Browns actually beat me on 2 scores.
2 points.
So that was my pick. I came up with an 18.5 out of 25. And it gives me a status of 74%. Big up to Kid and Play. Do This My Way.
That's right.
What about you?
As for myself, I came down on a 19 on 25 for a 76%. Alright, guys. Thank you for watching. And remember, this month we are giving away a limited edition Funko Pop Notorious B.I.G. figurine. All you have to do is subscribe to have a chance to win. Also, check out our premium apparel store. We have original t-shirts and more are coming on the way. You like cool artwork? Then check out 40 Years of Hip Hop displayed metallic posters. Also, guys, we landed our first official collaboration with 1804 The Movement. That's why we're rocking these fresh caps and beanies. You can find all of these links in the description down below. Alright, party people, so don't forget, subscribe, like, share, and comment. You know, we're trying to blow up. And this is Mr. Ron with the G-Man saying peace, and we outie.